What's up, everybody at home? Welcome to the latest edition of our podcast, Izinja zeGame, proudly sponsored by MTN FC. We all know that this show wouldn't be possible if it wasn't for MTN FC. And my name is Josta Dladla. I'm your host. Our guest today is a legend of the game. I told you that I'm gonna bring you big names. I don't just bring Machitanyana Dladla 2 seasons, 3 seasons. I want manga business. I bring you real guys that grafted in the game, did well, won trophies. I mean, the guy that's sitting next to me, he was the captain at Vets when they won the title. When they won the title, which is the Nedbank Cup, right? Yeah. The last captain to win something at Kaizer Chiefs as well. I think he scored a goal, when we played MTN 8. He says he only won one MTN 8 Cup. He won too many trophies. I think it's 2 MTN 8 trophies. And I think he scored a winner in the 2014
against
Cup final against Pirates.
Moses Mabida, yeah.
Moses Mabida, right?
Yeah.
I was sitting in the stand for the first time. One of my hardest seasons, by the way. One of my hardest seasons. I never touched the ball.
But you went through it.
I went through it.
Survived.
Yeah. But yeah, I got a medal even though I sat out. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I was just one of those supporting teammates. And I think he won 3 Nedbank titles. Might have been with Vets University.
Vets,
Kaizer Chiefs with 2.
And
Super Sport as well. Yeah. And my former roommate,
for all those seasons
that he played for.
Stories to tell. Stories to share.
Yeah, as a captain, I always shared, rooms with, the best players in the game. This guy shared a room with him, for the longest of time, up until I left Kaizer Chiefs. Let me just say, ladies and gentlemen, welcome, Masha, Tefu, my teammate, my friend,
JD.
What's up, boy?
Thanks for welcome, brother.
Thanks for coming through, Sonny.
Thank you.
How you been, sir?
No, I've been good. And thank you for a wonderful introduction.
Yeah.
I've been looking forward to coming here. I've been watching some of the episodes and I was like, when is my dog gonna invite me? But like you said, you know what, your time will come and I'm just honored to be here, my brother.
Yeah.
Great job. What you are doing, setting a standard, for footballers.
Yeah.
To venture into the media space and thank you.
We can't all be coaches, bro.
No, we can't.
You know what I mean? You gotta choose something. I think the football is too huge. You can choose anything that you want to be around that.
There's there's the political economy of football is so huge that I don't think we are aware of the spaces and pockets that we can get into, to get the best out of us, out of talent. And I think it's just something that needs to be explored, but it starts with education. And I hope that one day we can get there. You are setting the standard.
Yeah.
And I hope a whole lot of guys can follow your example. There's administration, there's event management, there's football finance aspect. But we just have to keep on pushing. There's advocacy for players, labor rights, and all those things. So we need to jump into those things.
Pick what fits for you.
Yeah, to make sure that we control our destiny. Because at the moment, our destiny is controlled by other people, and sometimes they don't understand the game. But
what you say,
it's a story for another day.
What you say? Say it again.
We don't control our destiny. We are in charge of what happens within the 4 lines. But for the 4 lines, for something to happen, there's a whole lot of things that are happening around the ticketing, the media, the event management.
Me as a teammate, I'm I want to take your position.
It's just a whole lot of things. So we need to just educate ourselves as well, as footballers, to make sure that we fill those pockets.
But do you think that I've been in the game for 20 years, right? Still in the game, obviously. Now it's a media site and whatever. The mental state of a player, do the owners and the clubs that we play for, do they ever look at that? I know you've been in the game for a long time. When was the first time or the last time did you ever go into a psychologist? It's a psychologist, right?
Yeah. Sports psychology.
Are you going through something and just going to talk? Has it ever happened to you? Let me just ask that.
I only experienced that when I was in Sweden. And out of the teams that I've played for, which is it was Bidvest Vets, it was Chiefs, and then I went to Sweden, and then I came back to play for Super Sport. Is the shortest contract that I had was in Sweden And like, that's when the first time that I experienced the sports psychology aspect of, our game. Yeah. And like, it taught me a lot, because when I got there, like, the guy that I was working with, he used to consult with us in groups, and then like he will do groups, and like we had groups where we are working with the individuals like from Africa, as we have a group session, and then now he'll isolate us like into individuals, and then it will be like the whole group as a team. So he was just dealing with different dynamics. How are you doing as a human, as a person outside of football? How are you doing with the group that you are hanging out with? Because like I normally used to hang out with like African players.
Yeah. So the case,
And how are you doing with the friends that you have, the interracial friends, and then as a team dynamic, so I learned a lot from that. But like, it's not something that's, taken seriously here in South Africa.
How much stress do we go through? Be honest, like, how much stress as a football player, like, do you go through, bro?
It's a lot, JD, man. Like, because like, you come from where you come from, you push a dream, and then you succeed, and then you get into a team. I'll make an example with like a team like Chiefs, with the amount of followers that we have, the expectations from the followers, from the management, the traveling, the resting, the eating, there's a whole lot of things, So I feel for the guys now, because like I feel like there's been just too much transformation now with the social media. You have access to like people who can talk to you directly, whether it's on X, whether it's on WhatsApp, whether it's on
if you don't do all, they send you a message and be like,
So I mean, there's a lot of things to deal with, and I feel like we need to address all these compartments that forms part of our industry.
I know, like, you one of the people that I used to stay with, read a lot, went to school very well. Like, what did you study? And like, wait.
So I don't know if you want me to start like from the beginning.
We're gonna come like where you were born. Like now I'm talking about like varsity.
Varsity. I studied at Vets. I graduated bachelor's arts, majored in international relations and political science. But initially, when I came to Vets, like I came to study LLB.
Okay.
So I did law for 2 years. And then
you had one more year. And what happened?
What happened was like Bobby Solomon spotted me, and he was like,
football again.
You gotta come and train with the first team. And then I had to sit down, and like that was my initial plan. Basically, like to come to Vets in order not to pursue education, but to turn into a professional footballer. So everything just like worked out for me. But like LLB was so difficult because like there's a lot of work that you have to deal with. So I had to sit down and say, how do I kill two birds with one stone? And I had to like adjust, move from LLB so that like I can invest a lot of time in training and a whole lot
for 12 more months though.
Yeah, but at the end of the day, it all worked out. So I graduated, got my BA, and I gave the degree to my mother, and I said, "This is yours. I'm going to pursue my own degree," which was like football. So my mother was like, "No, I can't allow you to play. To pursue that dream, you have to study."
Of course, good. Shout out,
yeah.
That's a great mom right there.
Yeah, no.
So like now, what do you think?
I mean, like it was a great investment.
And
I'm grateful to Tefu Mashamaite, my mom, for what she did. She pushed me, and then like at the end of the day, like everything just like kind of like fell into place.
So your generation is changing that mindset of like saying, like, how they only spoke about footballers. I want to see like, the guys that are lining up for the final. They're like, hey, that's Dr. Mamang, that's Dr. Mama, Dr. Tefu. We got to see, and we see like the guys that are coming after you, the youngies that are coming up, they doing what you did.
There's a whole lot of guys right now, like also like what they did now with varsity football and everything. So there's that element of like a student athlete, type of a culture. Like kids are going to school and they are still pursuing their dreams, even if it's not just in sports, but like in other, other careers.
Yeah.
So I think it's a good thing because like there's always like relevance. Also like education, like it develops you rather than just like dropping out of like grade 8. Like, and we understand the dynamics of our country, but like if you are able to push through and get to a point where like you can push, get to matric, go to tertiary, and then still pursue and push, to reach for the talent that, God gave you.
Yeah.
I feel like it's a double-edged sword that you can always use and navigate, through life. I think
There's something in your back pocket as well.
Yeah. I mean, like, before we started the interview, we were chilling with this guy who was saying like music and like he said like, fine, music is there. I can always have the studio. This is where I go and I refresh.
He only realized later though.
Yeah. But like, it's never too late.
Yeah, he was saying at first then he was like you, this boy, like one of the boys producers in studio. He was just saying like, nah, you wanted music, but he realized that there's no money. There is money, but there's no money. But let me just get the base first, which is education.
Yeah.
Have that in the bag. And once I have that and I probably can be incorporated, I can do music as
Sure.
As a hobby.
As a hobby.
As a hobby as well.
And like the advantage of music is you can rap or sing when you are like 50.
Exactly.
Like there's a limited time frame.
South Africa. When you get 30.
I know.
Do you think like, going to school helped you a lot in most of the decisions that you had to make in the game as well?
To answer your question, I feel like going to school, there was no other option because like going to school for me, coming from the rural areas, was a way out. So I had to go to school in order for me to even have a shot at, becoming a football, a professional footballer.
Yeah.
So I would say that like I had to go to school because like where I come from, you go to school and then you probably like, if you go to matric, you pass matric, you go to college and you just become like there's a ceiling.
That's
what so for me, pushing and going to school, like it just like opened up an avenue into life, and like it opened up so many opportunities for me. So I had to go to school.
But you were saying you're the first breadwinner, not the first breadwinner. At this point, you knew that you had to break the curse that the family has always had. Like when you were like, I'm gonna go to school.
Yeah.
And then I'm going to change everything that all the male in the family has gone through. So you wanted to change that.
Not only in the family, but also like from my village and like from my district. And yeah, because like the best that you can do like from my village and I can say region or district is like you pass matric, you become a teacher, maybe you go into medicine, you become like a nurse,
not a doctor, a nurse, not a specialist. You don't specialize in anything.
You know that
that.
Also it's just down to the apartheid special arrangement of how careers were designed.
It's still like that. Look high now. Most
I mean, like 15 years ago it was like that. Things have changed a lot now. So like with me, it was just down to, no, I can't like become a teacher. I can't, because like the highest you can aim is like maybe become a principal. But I was like, no, I can't become.
Could imagine.
I don't want that. Like I want to.
You as a teacher. I thought there's no way.
Maybe one day you'll see. Yeah. So I knew that I had to do something like unconventional, if I can put it that way, in order for me to reshape the landscape of not only my family, but like where I come from. And like today, like when you go to my village or my region where I come from, there's like aspiring footballers. There's kids who are at varsity. I know after me, like 2 years after me, there were two guys that like came straight from my high school and they studied at Vets. I was the first one from my high school to like pass matric at my high school and then come to Vets straight. You can only go to like colleges around there or UL or University of Venda.
No ways.
Yeah.
So you were the first to kind of like break that thing out. No ways. Was it because maybe it was a financial thing? I don't know. Or maybe we just didn't know how to apply. Actually, I only found out, dog, most black people, they only wait for matric up until
They start
they start
applying.
applying. But
That's
they don't
even-
realize that they have to apply for while they're still in grade 11.
Even today, with all this technological advancement and
Yeah.
all the information available,
Yeah.
it's still the same. Like, people only apply
After matric.
after
It's too
matric,
late.
and that's like January.
Yeah, it's too late.
Because like now they get the results ka January
Yes.
or February. But like I applied when I was doing grade 11.
Who told you that?
So the house that I grew up in, which is my grandmother's house, was next to this house Mashao. There was a teacher in there.
Oh.
So the teachers, like they are the trendsetters of the village, and they are the middle class of the village, and like information always simmers through middle class, and then it goes down to those in the lower class. So I'm always been an observer. So in as much as I come from,
you don't talk much.
I always like get into the room and like I observe. So I absorb information, even if that information was not meant for me. Like I always like try to absorb. So I was able to learn from that family a lot, and like I just happened to get hold of like all the university addresses.
You did it yourself?
UCT, yes, I did it myself.
Like my son was doing that himself. I'm like, dude, like
UCT, VETS, University of Pretoria. But like when we were doing matric, we took a trip. We came down to Joburg. We went to University of Pretoria, and that's when like my my eyes were open to say like I can come here. But like I had already applied, and my grade 11 results.
Yes. Once you get them, that's what
like
you go through.
They were like, you are provisionally accepted.
Yeah.
But like you need to pass matric. So I knew
you're waiting for the final results.
There was a standard that was set, and then I knew that I had to push. And then I just pushed. But like in the back of my head, I was like, I'm going to play professional football. Like I said,
they always say, like, whatever that you think of, sometimes it manifests.
You have to manifest it.
Yeah.
Like you have to manifest it.
And we don't realize that what you always thought you're gonna be, you ended up being there.
I think it's Deepak Chopra. There's this book that he wrote about synchronicity. Like there's like the mind is so powerful. Crazy, and the mind is a gateway that we have to create. Like you can create a reality in as much as sometimes like we have limitations, but like the mind has a lot of potential to create like situations that can become real. And like I noticed that like when you are young, you've got like so much spiritual power to manifest.
It's pure.
It's pure because like it's unfiltered, it's still fresh. Like there's just so much power.
Donas, I know you're doing like I don't know, I hope you're coming up, you're gonna be different from a lot of people that used to run this organization. Now you with the players union. How is that going, and what difference are you going to make into that society as well as a whole?
Yeah, well, like we created a different union. So there's the other union, and then there's us. Like so our union, which I'm presiding over.
Hold on, before you start, this union that's always been there is still there.
Yeah, it's still there.
In a way, now you created something else on the side.
Yeah. So under SAFA Constitution, there is nowhere where it's said like you can't have more than 2 unions. So we decided to just like create this alternative, if I can call it that way. It's called Footballers Union of South Africa, FUSA.
Yeah.
We started it beginning of this year, and we are crawling right now, and we're just trying to find our feet, trying to carve a different niche. Because football unions are always seen as like when there's like a contractual dispute, that's when we jump in. But like I remember in June we had a dialogue trying to bring players from PSL, from NFD, from ABC to come together and just like have a day where we are just discussing issues that like affect footballers. And I'm grateful to all those players that came through that day. We have a partnership with Lifeline South Africa. They provided us with offices at Emarentia. And like we gathered that day at Amarentia, and then we just shared. I wish I was at liberty to share the players that came through on that day, but because like this subject is a bit sensitive, I'm not allowed to share who pitched up on that day. Yeah. So those are the kind of things that we are trying to like get into, the financial literacy, because like me and you, like we were just like working on like
we just go through it. Nobody,
like I know you are lucky. You come from like a structured like kind of background, like and like you were able to like take care of this and that, like a couple of guys, but like other guys, maybe me, maybe the next person, we were not that lucky. Like it was always like you have to be creative.
Yeah.
So I feel
get
like
the money. Like, okay, what do I do with this? Yeah.
So you and I, we are sitting at that position where now, like, can we like use our experience, to educate the young and upcoming?
Yeah.
Like not only that, but like with what you are doing,
getting
into the space, the media, like we can control our narrative. So, but going back to the issue of union. This is something that like we are just trying to get into, to be more than just, labor rights, kind of like contractual disputes.
Teams hate you when you come through. They hate you. They don't want to talk to you. Like you want to work with them, because basically it's for the kids that are playing football.
Definitely.
When they are done with football.
Yeah.
Right? Because what happens is when you look at it, like in Europe, they've got this. I hope you're gonna create something like that.
Sure.
Players 10 years later, they've retired. They at home. They get a call. They're like, you've got money waiting for you. You've got 10 million. Waiting for you. I mean, can you imagine how many players are there? If you had to get 1,000 from each player, and you approach one of these insurance companies and say, we just want to do what do you call this, a live cover for some of these guys.
Yeah.
Would they say no?
Health insurance.
Life insurance. I mean,
even after you've retired.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So you say 10 years later, the guy gets calls, there's 5 million, and this is a guy that doesn't have anything. It makes a whole lot of difference. I hope you come up like, with something like that. For me, I think that's where we lack.
But also, like, can we get to a place where now, like, let's say Betway now is the new sponsor, it's a PSL. Can we get to a place where now, like, there's an advocacy to say, like, okay, Betway, you are putting so much money into the PSL. Like, we try to negotiate to say, like, from now on, like, how much are you gonna, put in to make sure that there's something for health insurance and life cover and all those things. Even if it's like just 5%. Yeah.
Disability cover. Yeah. People don't know about those things.
I mean, like, in Sweden, what you are talking about right now, it's like it's a common practice.
Yeah.
I have a friend of mine who's a coach in Italy, and he was telling me that, like, when you reach the age of 45 or 55, if you played in the first division or the Premier League of Italy, you start getting 5,000 euros a month. That's a pension.
Yeah.
As long as you play Like, can we have those kind of like initiatives?
Yeah.
So I hopefully, I'm not saying that like we're gonna push it. We know the dynamic of like South African football landscape. It's gonna be tough, but like at some point in life, like we have to get to that level.
But can you get your LLB first? Done? What happens to the 2 years that you did? Like,
I got my BA. I mean, like, imagine like you're offering peel.
No, it's okay. No, we're all over the place. This is the show. But I want you. Now we're talking about what you're doing.
Yeah. So,
but I want you to get your LLB, bruh. So are they gonna credit you with the 2 years that you had?
So right now, to be honest with you, I'm trying to get my master's. But like in sports.
Oh.
So I have applied. At an international institution, I got accepted. The only thing that's holding me back right now, it's finances. So if there's anyone out there,
MTN, come on, like, my boy wants to go to school.
Yeah,
I mean, they do good things, bro.
Yeah,
like, maybe somebody might step up.
Yeah, it's an internationally accredited, qualification. Yeah. So, I mean, like, if I can get that, I feel like it will open a whole lot of doors. But I have tried to knock at sports, arts and culture. You send the email, you try to call, and like, we'll come back to you.
Did you ever come back?
No,
Nothing.
they obviously they will send you an email to say, oh no, we received your email, but like we'll consider it. So it's just one of those things. You go to all these foundations. I don't know if I'm allowed to
No, you
talk
can.
to
You
them.
can. Yeah, you can.
I went to Motsepe Foundation.
Yeah.
So
They
I was,
always help those ones. I know.
yeah, I was
like
lucky enough to actually like get Mama Precious Motsepe's number.
oh, snap.
I WhatsApp her, ne?
Yeah.
And I'm like, no, it was after I sent an email, and then someone gave me her number, and then like cause like it had been too long without getting any feedback, so I WhatsApp her. Like I was just like taking chances. Hey, Mama, I'm Tefu Mashamaite, this and this and that. I'm looking for help, and like out of the blue, nje, she responds, "Hi, Tefu. This is the person that you can call. Do this, do that, do that." But like Josta Fit, when you call that person doesn't
I hear what you're saying.
and that person doesn't respond to your email. So in South Africa, the problem sometimes is not like the people who have got the power. The middleman.
No, gotta get Hey man, that's bossing roommates more like
sometimes renal problem at the gatekeeper. No, me, I'm God, and I've got a right to decide who's going to get blessings and who deserve to go to hell.
Dude, imagine if I'm Josta Dladla and the world has done so much for me.
Yeah.
All I can do is just give back. The same help that I needed, that I wanted to get from a lot of people and I got. Why can't I just, once I'm okay, why can't I just take that and help the others that are coming up? What happens is, this ones, when they go up as well, what do? They help the other ones that are coming down. I don't understand people that are out there, they've achieved so much, they got so much, just to give back. It doesn't kill you.
But what do you think is the problem?
I don't know, bro. It's just, I think most of the peeps, or most, I don't know. I grew up around a lot of black people. A lot of black people, I think, like they get intimidated by
greatness.
Or like, like you see this boy, it's going to be great in the future, to say, let me nurture this. I'm not going to be in power forever, right?
Yeah.
So tomorrow when I shift, at least I've left a legacy. If I teach this boy the same thing, when he gets there, he's going to bring up the other guys that are more strong. So the Americans, that's where they beat us.
Yeah.
Wherever there's talent, wherever there's greatness, they nurture the talent.
It's a baby zanki culture. There's an intangible institution that naturally filters into people. So most South Africa, because our foundation comes from exploiting certain people in order for us to get to a certain level, then it becomes a cultural thing. I mean, like, you look at rugby. I feel like rugby is doing well, but like you look at like football, like it's an uphill, So I feel like football is just a microcosm of the bigger picture of the society, of the foundation of South Africa as a whole.
Yeah.
You look at the foundation in South Africa, how South Africa as a country, as an entity was conceived. There's a whole lot of things, that goes into that. And like that has somehow become a cultural norm. If you go out, when I was playing in Sweden, there was a whole lot of like, I played with guys from Ghana. I think there was 2 or 3 guys from Ghana. There was one guy from Nigeria, and there was one guy from Gambia. Those guys, in this kind of space, they can bring their friends, their families, friends who are chasing their own dreams of football into this space. And they can sleep there for 3 months, going to trials in different teams until they make it. But we don't have that in South Africa.
It's all about me.
It's all about me. And like
we want to destroy what's somebody gets that Josta is a coach. I want you to destroy Tefu because you think he knows.
Yeah.
He thinks it's better.
It's not just in football. It's like, it's just like part of like the whole cultural landscape of South Africa.
Hey, Baba, look at rugby. Let me tell you about rugby. Rugby, when you have Tefu playing, going, I don't know the positions that they're There's when you're playing, go the national team, at the box. There's 4 other Tefus that are waiting for you to shift. How also there's like another guy that's going to
take over.
That's more like if maybe even better than you. Understand? More Chiefs, there's no not Chiefs, sorry, but hey, wanna Chiefs. Producer Katla, hey, Ryan, you're gonna have to edit that one. In football, it's more like there's no continuation.
Yeah.
So when you left Kaizer Chiefs, there was no youngster that was learning from you. So that when you are gone, he can take over. Do you know what I mean? That's where we are. I don't know what's going on with us.
But I think it was Eric Mieni. He wrote a book about this whole, situation called The Only Black at a Dinner Party. Cool. So we want to be the only blacks at a dinner party. I want to be the only black who has ever achieved
the first one.
The first one.
Yeah, the first one.
Yeah, so as soon as I walk into a party and I'm the only black guy, and I see another black guy who's wearing a suit. The only black guy that I want to see is the ones who are bringing water and bringing food. And as soon as I see another black guy, I just want to knock them out. And you see, even in football now, guys who played 30, 40 years ago, they're like, yeah, no, I'm still the best. I'm still, the greatest. And this young 20-year-old emerging who has got the potential,
you can see it,
to take over and be the greatest. We find ways to bring them down.
Destroy.
Yeah,
I'm gonna tell you a story, right? I don't know if that's I heard a story from somebody.
Yeah.
Rulani now, one of the greatest in the game, right?
Yeah.
One of the great experts.
The best.
The greatest. So hopefully, if you start winning, we don't know what we're gonna say. But Barry, somebody was telling me, I think he used to work with Steve.
Yeah. Apparently go Platinum Stars.
Do you understand what I'm saying? Yeah. So Steve was there to
mentor him.
Yeah. Didn't get intimidated by him or whatever. He saw this boy's got talent.
Yeah.
Let me nurture him, I think. Yeah. And look at him now. So we gotta be in that mentality, Molore. We do that. And I think that's what breaks a lot of South African teams. Because a lot of guys that now are coaches, right? When they were players, they were treated a certain way.
Sure.
But once they are coaches, they do the very same thing that was done to them.
That's true.
You know what I mean? So we got to change that mentality.
That's true. I mean, talking about Rulani, he sat at the feet, Coach Steve Kompela, you were saying, sat at the feet, Coach Pitso
Msimani, yes.
I mean, how many Rulanis do you think are out there?
It's a lot, bro.
So if that was a cultural norm in South Africa,
would be far.
In the 90s, already, when South Africa get accepted back into the international fold, South Africa just catapulted into a different space. We're playing against Argentina, playing against Brazil. So if there was a continuation from that 90s and proper investment, and I'm not talking about financial investment, but cultural, spiritual, and in other forms, right now will be way ahead. We are a hegemon when it comes to our continent. South Africa is a hegemon.
Okay, what's a hegemon, bro? It's simple English.
A hegemon is the leader.
Yeah.
It's the standard setter.
Yeah.
On the African continent, South Africa is a hegemon. But because
we don't
of
use
our internal squabbles, if Steve Kompela doesn't want to empower Rulani, then he sits on Rulani's talent, and then we don't have Rulani.
Yeah.
So I think that's our problem in South Africa.
That,
yeah, but that's an example to look forward to, you just mentioned. Yeah.
Donas, I know we spoke a lot about not football, but that's how it is. This is us having a conversation in a room most of the time with my boy. But let's talk about where Tefu comes from. As a young dog, where are you from? And how did this football thing start? Who were the players that you were looking up to growing up? Let's get primary and whatever. Who did you like? Yeah. And where are you from?
So Tefu, born in 1984, 27 September, small village, Kosikung, but that village belongs to a region called Bochum, a town, small town.
Yeah.
Bochum, German missionaries came in the 17th century, during colonization, and they changed that name. But like the original name is Sinobarwana. Can you say that? Sinobarwana.
Sinwa.
Sinobarwana.
Oh, yeah.
But you know what like Sinobarwana means?
No.
Like it's made up of two names. It's Sinwa, which is like comes from the root word hona, which is to drink.
Yeah.
And the Barwana is the bar.
With the kids, right?
We'll get to that. Yeah, Barwa is like Morwa is like the Khoisan.
Oh yeah.
So
okay, yeah.
Barwa,
Same people. Yeah.
It's supposed to be like Barwa.
So were they like back in the days like
they still are like in terms of stature, but like
so the hot in thoughts and
No, I'll get to that.
Okay,
you are the hot and
half and half, yeah, sure, yeah.
Yeah, so Barwa, basically batho ba ko Borwa,
yeah,
right? Yeah, so like that's why we have like Africa Borwa, right?
Yes,
so Barwa ke batho ba ko Borwa.
Yeah.
And then like now you gotta ask yourself like if Barwa ke batho ba ko Borwa rena re tla kae? So
we're not high. Yeah. Okay.
So na ke Mokoni.
Oh yeah, which is the north. Like,
which is the north. Like that's why we have like Bokoni Bophirima.
Yes.
So na ke Mokoni. So grew up ko Sinobarwana. So basically I was gonna break down the whole concept of Sinobarwana.
Yeah.
Because like this used to be like a ancient cultural highway. So Barwa, when they used to come from the south, which is like Kobo, Cape Town, and all those places, they used to go and do trade. Kobo Koni.
Oh.
So they used to lodge at a place called Makhabeng. Today, like archaeologists will tell you that like there's a place called Makhabeng. There's a rock art painting museum, which is right next to about like maybe 5 kilometers from Sinobarwana, the town.
Yeah.
Yeah. So there used to be an ancient oasis there where these people, when they were traveling from the south, they used to drink there. Hence the name now, which is Sinobarwana.
Oh, snap. Okay,
yeah. So they used to drink there. And then they will lodge at the Makhabeng Mountains. And then they will continue their journey.
No, so
we're talking about
the Basara people used to walk all the way from Kimberley.
Kimberley, all those
ended up
places.
In the north.
Yeah, in the north to go and do trade, but also sometimes to go and trade in their skills, fighting against the invaders from the Arab world. If you research your history, you'll discover that like the Europeans were not the first one on our continent. The Arabs used to come here and capture slaves.
Yeah.
So people ba Makalanga or Bangona, they used to like get the Barwa because they were skilled
with an arrow.
Yeah, with an arrow. So when they used to fight against all these invaders, they would get.
How far is that from like Kruger National Park? Like, is that where Mozambique? That's where they used to like
Mozambique, Zimbabwe. So.
Yeah.
So now, like the ancient city-state of Mapungubwe, we are not far from it. It's about an hour from my
That's
village.
where they used to like, bakenyadi the slaves onto the ships. So these are the Portuguese, right?
The
Arabs and the Portuguese.
The Portuguese and the Arabs. Yeah. But before that, like there's like slave captures. There's also like international trade as well. I remember. Somebody told me that. The government now has got this order. Yeah, is it Mapungubwe? I forgot what it's called. There's like orders when you have done a great job, like in the arts, in all forms of cultural living, they give you orders. There's the one that's actually named after Mapungubwe.
Okay.
Yeah, so Mapungubwe used to be like an ancient city-state. So after Mapungubwe, I think there was Great Zimbabwe, and there was Kami. So all those things like Sinobarwana is like just part of that, cultural history.
Okay.
Yeah. So that's the history where I come from. I get you asked me.
Where I come from. Yeah. So like people now we know about the place because of this boy. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm doing some.
Because the way you're explaining everything like that and whatever. So like the football How did this? Was it
Okay,
always in your
Shab,
blood?
let me get into
Yeah,
that.
yeah.
So I come from a family that is always like, I remember since I was young at my village, you know, like there's like village celebrities.
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
I think Kokasi, like
Yeah.
Utolawa, like Black Mamba. I think there's like teams like Black Mamba, yeah. Is
Okay.
it Black Mamba? Koso way too.
Oh yeah, maybe Tankana. Yeah, I see that famous. It's a popular one.
Yeah, it's a popular team, and there's like
Mamba,
celebrities.
something Mambas.
Yeah,
The Mambas. I don't
the
remember.
Mambas,
Yeah.
and it's like celebrities and like key celebrity Kokasi.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
like we also had our own celebrities like in my village that I used to look up to. You know, like Bu Briski, Bu Brixie, Bu Disco, Bu Magic. Like you won't know them obviously.
So
but
they never made it at the highest level.
Yeah, they never
But
made
these
it.
were the
But
guys that were like, yeah.
They set a foundation for me, you know.
Okay.
So those are the guys that I grew up looking up to. So Briggs was my cousin, Ngwana, my aunt, Ngwana Mamkhulu.
Yeah.
And he was 10 years older than me. And like he was the star of like our village team. And like he's one of the guys that I grew up like looking up to. So when you're asking me like Bolo Itwakai, like
yeah,
that's where like the seed was planted, because I used to carry his boots in the early 90s, like when he used to go play, and like I was still a youngin, like I used to look up to him.
Yeah.
And I mean, like the advent of democracy in South Africa, like it just brought a whole lot of technological advancement that time, because like now we get to see Chiefs and Pirates and Sundowns on TV. We get to see Bafana winning AFCON. So that's where the dream was born. So that's where like I got to like take football seriously. But like also the seed was planted by my uncle as well, who in 1992, when I was 8, we came through to Joburg. Like wabona like Otsokumahaye.
Yeah.
Come through Kadi December.
Oh
June.
Yeah, I see that. Yeah. Check it to somebody, check it to one of the relatives.
My mom
yeah.
takes me to FNB Stadium.
Oh snap.
1992 Bob Save Super Bowl final.
Who were you watching?
Kaizer Chiefs, Jomo Cosmos. Chiefs won 2-1 that day. I'll never forget that day.
No ways.
Yeah, so 1992. 1995 when Vets won Coca-Cola Cup. Comil Park.
Oh, yeah. Kabu Stiga and them.
Yeah, Kabu Stiga.
Lavas was there as well.
Yeah. Kabu Bradley Kane.
They had a strong team there.
Yeah, they had a strong team.
So you like you to the stadium, yeah.
You come from that tradition.
Yeah.
I come from that tradition.
Yeah.
So,
I know, yeah.
Yeah, that's where basically the dream was born, my brother. And like I said earlier on, I've always been an observer. So like I observed that and like I just captured it, and then I just manifested
I want to be here. So after here, the FNB atmosphere, because that was an old FNB.
Damn, Josta.
So that thing that when you saw that game, you're like, nah, this experience.
Oh, it was just,
I would love to be here.
It was just too beautiful, because like I remember Nerleko Tembisa, we take a train. We stop by GP. There was a hostel, yeah.
Go back. So, yeah, I think where Cosmos used to play. Is it GP? No. GP not a hostel.
Yeah, I think it was a hostel there, but like I was still young, but like I stand to be corrected.
Yeah.
Go GP. We stopped there because like my uncle had to go and see his Zulu friend.
This guy really was there.
1992. Those were the times that we in car and see. So we stopped by there, and then we see his friend, and like. Now in my head, I'm thinking, I just want to go to the stadium, because you said we are going to the stadium. Eventually, we take another train. I don't know, maybe more Park Station. Take a taxi. FNB. Hey, JD, man. Like, the first minute when, like, they stopped the ticket and then you walk into the stadium, you know that moment when you are walking through the tunnel and you start seeing the field. Like, for me, that's a memory that was like etched in the fabric of my consciousness, and like that's when like the dream was just, you know, manifested, and you know there was a certain form of validation.
So Ntonas, you finished matric and got accepted by Wits
miraculously.
Study. So how did the transition, you going to varsity and whatever, obviously the first mandate was you doing well at school.
Yeah.
Now the football side of it, how was it? Like, you know, how did that come about?
Yeah, so 2002, get to vets, do my first year. That year, like, it was just like about adjusting to the academic life.
Yeah.
I tried to get into football, but like it was not possible because like now there's just a whole lot of things.
Oh yeah.
There's like LLB, like it was just hectic.
Always in class.
Yeah.
Basically,
so the following year, they hosted like trials. Zek van Heerden, whom I'm still like friends with right now. He went on to become our fitness trainer at VES, the professional side. He worked for Sundowns, Bafana Bafana. He did some work with Portugal at the World Cup. He was the coach then, and he was a lecturer.
So
at
the
VES.
stock suite, Zek.
No, Zek van
another
Heerden.
Zek.
Yeah, Zek
that
van
one, yeah,
Heerden.
yeah.
Now he's into science and medical fields.
Oh,
yeah, great guy.
Yeah.
He's still my friend now. So him and Pumlan Manyati. You remember Manyati who used to play for Chiefs?
Yeah.
I think he was your assistant coach
at
some point. Yeah.
When I started at Vids, he was there. Yeah.
The brother, yeah.
Umuntu akalahlwa.
Yeah, Pumlani.
Yeah.
They were coaching at student team, so identified me, brought me into the fold. We used to play the Sasus back then.
Oh yes.
Yeah, against Buma, Pretoria Tech, back then when it was called Pretoria Tech, University of Pretoria. I remember like Junior Nonali Provincials, Gauteng versus Free State. I think Majoro. That's when
I said about you guys used to play. It was a once-off tournament. Somewhere. You were there for like the whole week or the whole weekend.
The whole week, yes.
Yeah,
the whole week. It was a 5-day event. That's when I met Majoro. I think 2003 or 4.
Kicked him.
A lot.
Because he was playing against you, of course.
Yeah. Majoro used to represent Free State, I think. Yeah. So that's when I met Majoro. And then that was in June.
Yeah.
During the recess. And then in December, that's when you represent your university.
Okay.
Yeah. And then you remember when Vets got relegated?
Yes.
Yeah. And then I think Roger left and then Coach Booby came through.
Yeah.
So one day Coach Booby comes to Max Park and then we are playing in this student league, student games.
Yeah.
And I catch a sight of him 5 minutes before halftime. Mind you, I've been playing like just like thinking maybe going through motions. 5 minutes before halftime, there's Coach Booby. Now you try to be serious. I think it's too late. Okay, maybe I've got something to show him. Ka second half, I know.
Were you guys playing? Are you guys playing
Max Park? Max Park. I
Yeah.
can't remember who we were playing.
Yeah.
Halftime, sharp. Hey, the guy leaves.
The guy that you tried to impress. But it's always been, you just never realize it's
But
been there the whole
you never
time.
know who's watching. So whenever you play...
What did you say?
You never know who's watching.
That's why you got to play the game as if it's your last.
So fortunately, I think I did well that day. Because like after the game, by then I think we were coached by Supangwenya. I think you played with him at...
Oh, Super, yeah.
Yeah.
Passed on me. I think,
he passed away.
He saw rest in peace. I think when I got to Vids, I took his position. He was the guy could whip in the cross from the right hand. He was a winger.
So there's a game that I watched. I think it was 1997, 98.
Yeah.
You guys were playing against Supersport.
Yeah.
And like in one of those Pretoria stadiums. Like it's now kind of like defunct.
Oh, Mamelodi.
No, in the city.
In the city?
Yeah, in the city.
Oh, yeah, it says that's super spot where they used to play. Like just in main lane. Somewhere in main lane. Somewhere there, yeah.
Coach Pito was an assistant coach to Bruce Grobler.
Yes, that was my first season.
You were playing right wing. Super was playing right back.
What a player.
Yeah.
What a player.
He was a great
that
player.
guy, I never, because I played as a center midfielder, as a 10 growing up. And then when I got to Vids, they converted me as a winger. Now, never played as a winger. My technique of crossing the ball was nothing.
Until later.
Yeah, until later. I had to work on it. So we training at Max Park. So we just used to do these drills and get the whipping. They just said whipping. They never said cross.
Sure.
Super comes in, bro. Gets there.
Quality.
Boom. Drives it, Baba.
Quality.
10 out of 10 balls, quality. Not 10 out of 10, probably. Like half was okay.
But you
know?
learned and you
I had
mastered
to,
it.
I had to like, adjust quickly. You had to, I had to hit the ground running. I had no, but Super was one of the best. He never, one thing about him is that, like I said, the guy was a senior player. I was young. 17, 18.
And I think already he had gone to like different clubs.
He was like, for me, dog, he was like a brother, a big brother.
Sure.
He never got intimidated by me.
Yeah.
When he sat on the bench, I know it's not for a player. I hated sitting on the bench. That year when I sat on the bench the whole year, my heart was broken.
But that was Super's nature. He was a teacher, and like so as I was still saying, like at halftime, Coach Bobby leaves, and then now fine, the game finishes, and then Super was like, Coach Bobby wants you to come and train with the first team. Man.
Yeah, that's after the game, dog.
Yeah, but Super says you are not ready, so I'm not gonna take you now. I'm gonna work with you for the next 6 months.
So you get an invite from the head coach of Wits University then.
Yes.
And then your varsity coach says, they want you.
You are not ready.
But you're not gonna go there.
Yeah. And I'm like, no, bro. Like, you are crazy.
Did you say that?
No, obviously.
Like, this guy's crazy.
Yeah. But like the next 6 months was just a real test of like what professional football was about, because he said I must go and watch. Mind you, I'm going to classes. You must go and watch the first team train. Used to go watch the first team train, and then I remember that year. So there's this event that they used to have at Vets, Barki Alres Picnic. So it's around September, October.
Okay.
What happens is like all the residences at Vets, like bakoleka nyugu, buy alcohol, buy meat, rent buses. We go to some place outside, in the bush, yes.
In the bush. Tents.
Yeah, tents. It goes down, my brother. And I've been going the previous years and everything. So Super knew that like it was coming. It was on Saturday. I paid the money already. And then on Friday, Super says like we're gonna do one-on-one on Saturday, you and I.
You wanna go have fun, and this coach is like, dude,
you and I, we are doing one-on-one tomorrow, training. 10 o'clock, Starrock Park. JD, I was bored. But I went there, and then I missed Alres Picnic. And then the sacrifice. So he was teaching me something about like sacrificing. Yeah, it was a lifelong lesson. And, like if you really want something, there's like certain price that you have to pay in order to reach for that goal. So I am forever grateful to him. Yeah.
So you had to sacrifice
that.
Monad.
Yeah.
A weekend. But that weekend brought you what? How many years of success?
Chiefs, Vets, going overseas, like those experiences, like they were worth it.
Super. Like, because you listened to the coach, even if you thought he was crazy.
Yeah.
Like alcohol will always be there.
And you know what's the crazy thing?
Yeah.
So I had 2 friends. No, I had 3 friends. And like, I tell them like, guys, tomorrow I won't be going to Alres Picnic. So one friend comes back the following day after the whole party, and then tells me, 2 of those guys, they were saying, like, Wena, why do you take yourself so serious? Do you think you're gonna be a professional footballer? So
this is also, one of your friends.
Also sometimes like you have to check the company you keep, because like as soon as you start elevating those that are on your level right now, they start questioning you, and like they start trying to like
you always run, you always like, who do you think you're gonna be?
Yeah. But like if you're gonna break a ceiling, there's always those who are at that level, at that point, who are going to say, but like that ceiling is too high for you.
But as a young, you don't understand that. You always think that you gotta have friends around you, and all, because we're having fun. Having friends is fun. So
it is.
Now you can never tell a youngster not to have friends. To always go to gym, concentrate on your books, go to gym, come back home and just chill. right, wahlanya, there's no way.
Wahlanya.
You know what I mean? Oh, you understand now because you understand all those things that you're telling me.
Yeah.
because
Now
you're
it's
older.
like reflecting. It's like, oh, that made sense.
So like, when did you like now start training with the first team?
So 2005, I think. I started training with the first team. We went to the Sasus in Stellenbosch, and then when I came back, then they said that like, no, you are ready now. Start training with the first team. I think I trained for like 6 months. Signed a professional contract.
6 months into Ghana, there's no contract at all.
Yeah, and then now Coach Bobby said, "Now you are not yet ready. Ship me out to Stars of Africa."
Oh,
To Coach Farouk, yes. To Coach Farouk. And I spent, I think, a year or two with Coach Farouk.
You still hadn't signed a contract with Wits then?
I had signed an apprentice contract.
Oh.
So they like here and there, they are helping me with the school and, all those things. Yeah.
They used to have that tradition.
Yeah. So
they took the weight away. I don't know where you got the money from. Going to the varsity, I don't know who was paying for the fees.
It was NSFAS, like, let me just say.
Fine. Yeah. And now they took it out and the vets took over everything.
And now and then, like, they give me money, to be able to become like, buy sneakers here and there, buy, because like, in the beginning, it was like just rough.
Difficult, yeah.
And then NSFAS, then like, it didn't give you a lot of things.
Now, with Farouk, dog, you get there, I know like the guys produce crazy talent going overseas and whatever. You get there. How is that guy? I know he worked with like School of Excellence and whatever. Like just you being there for like what 24 months.
Yeah.
How did that build you?
I get there. So what happened is like at some point I'm coming from res, come to varsity. He fetches me. We go to Brixton, UJ, Bunting. Sometimes we train in Rotherport, and I think towards the end of my stay with him, I'm living in Midrand, and I take a taxi, get to Noord, walk. Maybe I have a class that day.
Sacrifice.
Go to class.
Sacrifice.
Go to training. Sometimes I don't go to class. I go straight to training. But we are playing against the likes of Yewoyes.
Yeah, but that's Pirates. That was the Pirates.
Because we were playing in the Vodacom. Like, we were playing under the Monikaya Alexander United. Yeah, but like, just that setting. Meimahlangu, Skurumtunge, Tukelo Rantie,
all overseas.
Boizu Kumalo, he played in the MLS.
Yeah,
he's a coach there now in the US. Busiso Kumalo, left back. He played for Sundowns.
Oh, yes.
He played for Swallows. Yeah. He packed a powerful shot.
Yeah, I remember that boy. Yeah.
Who else was there?
KZN boys.
Yeah, KZN boys. Yeah. So like there was a whole lot of guys who were playing for under 20 that didn't even like make it, to the professional.
The professional is crazy, right?
Yeah, Bomambush. And like it was crazy because like you remember, were you there when you guys played against Barcelona?
Yeah.
So Coach always had that access. He brought in Alberto Perra before he took over
the Bafana.
Yeah, I think 2008-9 somewhere there. Alberto Perra came to the clubhouse. So like imagine if you are a youngster and like you get to experience that. Like that's that like face.
Did you guys come to the game also when you played against Barcelona?
Yeah, we did at Loftus.
Crazy.
Yeah, we used to go and watch under 20 tournaments at Joburg Stadium, the old Joburg Stadium. And when one of our players were playing,
of course, with support. That kind of like you sitting there, you like, if you can do it, this guy I'm training with him every day, I can do it as well.
And like I was unfortunate because like I was already a bit older, so and like now I came through the student, system.
Yeah.
So I didn't get to play for under 20s, but like I was there to observe, so
there's always got to be those exceptions and those special ones.
Like I got to absorb and learn. Yeah. And I remember one anecdote that I can share with you. There was a time when like Coach Farouk had to go and play golf go Sun City. Ne? My first time in Sun City. So I'm studying Kovet. And like it's during, the semester. So now, coach says I'm gonna go to play golf, Kosan City for the next week or 10 days. But because like we're understaffed that time, he's like, I'm thinking of taking, the team with me. I'll book them a place there, and then we train there, and then I go and play golf. But like, we're not, because you are studying, we're gonna leave you. I'm like, no, there's no, there's no way I'm
never
missing.
been at this place.
Yeah,
No way.
there's no way I'm missing Sun City for school.
This guy.
There I was.
Yeah.
Boom. We
Took your books with you though?
Yeah, I took books with me. I didn't go to class. Like, I didn't care.
Yeah.
We go to Sun City. He books us into a 2-bedroom chalet.
Yeah.
There's like 18 of us, dog. Self-catering.
Of course.
So there's kitchen, there's like couches, there's bedrooms.
Dude, what did you say? Did you say how many of you guys? So people don't understand what footballers go through before when you see them at Chiefs or Pirates. Say it again. What did you say?
18, 19 of us.
And you guys, it was normal. It was okay.
2-bedroom. Sun City, bruh.
It was
like,
okay.
I'll sleep on like Okoning.
Yeah.
And like what we used to do on a daily basis, like we wake up around 5. When you start getting busy, we go to the golf course. Wabana Modi the go-karts. Modi via.
Yeah.
Like, we jogging there.
But you know that.
5 before Baka. In the morning.
Yeah.
So like it's just a beautiful scenery.
It's crazy because that's an 18 hole. It's like you're walking like what? 10 Ks. It's probably like 11, 10 Ks of running.
We jog around there, like, and then we come back, or baila kaolo. And then we prepare food for ourselves. And then during the day, we go chill by the slides.
Yeah, you go like do swimming the whole day while he's playing his golf.
Yeah, and then later on, we watch the games, whether it's like UEFA Champions League. So we were on some kind of a holiday, but like, we still exercise and stuff. Yeah.
So you guys watching those games is more like if you're playing as a center back, look at what this guy that's playing in your position is doing.
We are also bonding,
Yeah.
We are also bonding. And those are just like the moments and the memories that like go a long way.
I know he's built an academy now. He's built like apparently one of the state-of-the-art facilities.
Yeah, July, I think 18th. Yeah, 18th on Mandela's Day. We were actually like opening the facility. It's a 3-story building. It's beautiful, brother. Like you gotta visit and see it. It's beautiful. A whole lot of people were there. They appreciated what was happening on that day. But I can only wish them the best. And I know that there's a whole lot of players that are going to come, out of the system. Right now, like, we used to share like a little facility called Brixton, even though I didn't stay there, I used to be like a day scholar, footballer. But like looking at that and comparing it to where the boys are today, like I feel like it's a huge transformation over the course of 20 years. So if you have a vision, my brother, like, you just like have to stick to it. I know like during the process of building that, he has rejected a whole lot of lucrative offers.
Sponsors to be people want a certain percentage. That they always like that. It starts with your dream.
Yeah.
That you go to them, you're like, can I help? Can I get help? They don't help. Suddenly now they see this dream coming up. They come back and like, we want like 40% of the shares in your company. We'll give you like 20 rands.
That's just
it's good. Like, I like what he's doing because it's more like, that's my idea. You're not gonna own my idea.
Sure.
Give me the money, I'll pay you back. But you're not gonna own me. You know what I mean? That makes sense. I'm proud of him. You know better than me where he comes from.
Yeah.
I mean, and it's also good for South African football.
Definitely.
Because a lot of kids that are gonna come out from there, they're gonna go overseas.
Yeah.
These are the people that are gonna come back with the experience that's gonna benefit South Africa as a whole.
Yeah.